Sorry, friends, I forgot my microphone again tonight. Thank you for joining me tonight for our nightly meditation practice. And as we always do, we'll begin by paying homage to the Buddha. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Tonight I decided to share with you a short reading from the Samyutta Nikaya. And I do this in honor of my teacher, the Venerable Manakara Kemananda. Venerable Kemananda has taught me the Dhamma for several years now. He is a scholar of Pali, the Pali language, PhD in Pali studies from Chulalongkorn University in Thailand. And for the past 9 months or so, he and I have been reviewing the Samyutta Nikaya, starting at the beginning and usually getting one chapter a week or so, one sutta a week or so, sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little less. And just going step by step through the suttas. He'll read them in Pali, explain, translate them on the spot, allow me to answer questions and learn both the Pali language as we would go, as well as learning the Dhamma teachings. So I am very grateful to him and the many years of teaching that he has provided to me and set me on the path, the Buddhist path of awakening. And I know that if someday I gain any type of fruits of those studies, it will in large part be because of him. So tonight I'm going to pick up where he and I left off a few weeks back. He may have already passed this. I had messaged him tonight to say I wanted to participate in his Wednesday night class if he had one, and no one showed up for the class, so he didn't do it, and so there was no Zoom meeting for me to join. But I'm going to read this one tonight, and then we'll read the notes that Bhikkhu Bodhi included from the commentaries, because it's a very interesting sutta, and I think you'll see why when we read the commentary. So in these connected discourses that we've been studying together, or I've been studying under his tutelage, I should say, the first book in the Samyutta Nikaya are the utterances of the Devas. And it's the Devata Samyutta, the collection of these Devatas utterances. And so this particular sutta, called One Root, is more or less a riddle that a particular Deva had come and uttered in the presence of the Buddha. And then these utterances later got repeated and memorized by the Venerable Ananda and others who memorized them and made them part of the Pali Canon. So anyway, this one root, it goes like this. The seer has crossed over the abyss with its one root, 2 whirlpools, 3 stains, 5 extensions, an ocean with 12 eddies. That's it. That's all this Devata had uttered. So again, as I wrote in the title here, this is called One Root. The discourse is called One Root, and it's at Samyutta Nikaya 1, Discourse 44. So I might be able to show that to you on here. It's on my Kindle. Nope, too bright, but it's short. So if you want to see that, then that's where you should turn. Samyutta Nikaya 144. So the interesting part about this is very short. Again, I could read it again. It won't take but a second. The seer has crossed over the abyss, the seer being the Buddha himself, with its one root, the abyss, having one root, 2 whirlpools, 3 stains, 5 extensions, and an ocean with 12 eddies. It appears to be a riddle, but when Bhikkhu Bodhi breaks it down from the commentaries, it will make a lot of sense to you. So the commentary explains this riddle as thus. The ocean, or the abyss, is craving, called an ocean because it is unfillable, and an abyss because it gives no foothold. Its one root is ignorance. The 2 whirlpools are the views of eternalism and annihilationism. And then the sub-commentary calls that craving for existence revolves by way of the eternalistic view, craving for extermination by way of the annihilistic view. The 3 stains, you can guess what those 3 stains are, I bet, or kilesa as we call them. The 3 kilesas, the 3 stains, timala is the word used for stain, are lust, hatred, and delusion. Well known in Buddhist parlance. The 5 extensions are the 5 chords of sensual pleasure, and the 12 eddies are the 6 internal and external sense bases. So we know all about the 5 extensions of 5 chords of sensual pleasures, and of course the 6 internal and 6 external sense bases. That's right there in those 4 lines of this utterance by this Deva. They explain what it was that the Buddha had overcome in order to attain his own liberation. He figured it all out. So obviously there's a lot for us to work on there. But we know there's ignorance, right? We know that ignorance, meaning ignorance of the Dhamma, that's what ignorance generally means when it's discussed in Buddhism, is ignorance of the Dhamma, ignorance of the 4 Noble Truths. And so that's that ignorance. And then the 2 whirlpools, the views of eternalism and annihilationism, again, all go back to a concept of self. So anatta is what the Buddha was able to overcome, or that sense of non-self. He was able to gain that true sense of non-self. So anyway, I do think it would be very interesting. I have it in Pali. I could switch to Pali and we could read all of this in Pali. And it wouldn't make sense to me because I'm not a Pali scholar, but it would have made sense, very much sense to the Venerable Kemananda. And that's how our course would have been tonight. And so I just want to let him know that I've read, I'm keeping up, and I'll continue to read these week to week as we would do together as we read the Samyutta Nikaya. We probably would have read 2 tonight, and so before we meditate, let's read the second one. I think it stands to reason, right? So the second one is called Perfect. And again, a Devata, a Deva, uttered this phrase, uttered this gata, this stanza. Behold him of perfect name, the seer of the subtle goal, the giver of wisdom, unattached to the lair of sensual pleasures. Behold the wise one, all-knowing, the great seer treading the noble path. Again, the commentary points out that a perfect name, as it is referred to here, is referring directly to the Buddha, and so the word of a perfect name, ano manama, of undefective name, of complete name, because he, the Buddha, possesses all excellent qualities. And the seer of subtle goal means because he sees the fine, recondite meanings, such as the diversity of aggregates, etc. He is, excuse me, he is the giver of wisdom by teaching the path of practice for the achievement of wisdom. Treading the noble path means the present tense is used with reference to the past, for the Blessed One had gone along the noble path on the side of the great enlightenment. He is not going along it now. He doesn't need to, right? How many times have we read that the Dhamma is like a boat crossing the ocean or crossing the river of samsara? And when you get to the other side, you no longer need that boat. You're already over there. And so you don't throw it on your back and carry it with you. And that's what the commentary is pointing out there. That Noble Eightfold Path, for example, that the Buddha gives us to live by, to attain our own liberation as that fourth noble truth. The Buddha didn't need to live that anymore. He had already perfected all of those aspects, and it wasn't a matter of him living it anymore. It was not his path. It was a path he had already tread, and that path was now behind him. So that was the meaning of the second part there. So again, I encourage you, if you don't have Bhikkhu Bodhi's translation of the Samyutta Nikaya, it's a wonderful translation into English. But also, if you just go to suttacentral.org, there are great translations on there as well. Some of Bhikkhu Bodhi's translations are on there. And there are some from other monks as well. But you can, those are all online for free. You don't have to buy the book. You don't have to download it onto your Kindle, as I have. I had literally dozens and dozens of books that I donated to various Buddhist organizations, including to friends of mine in my Zen order. As I was packing things to come here to Panama, because I knew I just needed them on my Kindle, and now I have my dozens and dozens of books about the Dhamma and the Dharma on my Kindle, and it serves me well. So I use that tonight to continue with my studies with the Venerable Kemananda, and perhaps it will turn into a discussion that he and I will have in the future. So anyway, with that, we will have our meditation. I hear my son hollering in the background, but he is bathed and his teeth are brushed and his hands and face are washed and ready for bed. So I'll let him play on his iPad and we will meditate. So anyway, I invite you to the bell, and then we will meditate for the evening. I was just sitting here debating how long did I want to meditate, because the Vihara Sambuddhaloka will do their nightly chanting in 6 minutes, and I'm thinking I might join them tonight. So I think I'm going to set this for 5 minutes of meditation only. We will do a down and dirty, so to speak, and then I will join the Sambuddhaloka Buddhist Vihara for their nightly chanting service. I think that will work for me. So again, I apologize. This is going to be short tonight, but sometimes practicing the Dharma together is of great benefit, and I want to do that tonight with them. So with that, let us heed the bells. Thank you. So before I turn to seeing if I can double stream their stream and this one together, we will read the Bodhicitta prayer together as we do each night. The Bodhicitta prayer. With a wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Enthused by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind for full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings, as long as space remains, as long as sentient beings remain. Until then, may I too remain and dispel the miseries of the world. Again, thank you for meditating with me, and let's see if I can add them. So bear with me just a moment. So it appears they haven't started yet. They're live now. So let's see if I can add them in. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato. Buddhang saranang gacchami. Dhammang saranang gacchami. Sanghang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami. Tutiyampi sangang saranang gacchami.
Titiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi bodang saranang gacchami.
Titiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Titiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi dang sanghang saranang gacchami.
Panatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Panatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Adinadana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Adina dana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Kamesukiccacara veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Kame sumicha cara veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Mussavada veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Musavada veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Maccapamadatthana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Suramaraya majja pamadatana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Sikkhapadani sīlena sukatiṃ yanti sīlena bhoga sampatā sīlena nibbutiṃ yanti tasmā sīlaṃ viṣodhaya.
Bhante. Samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Bhagavahang samma sambuddho vijja charana sampanno sugato kavidu anuttaro purisadhamma sarati sattadevu manusannang. Bhagavati buddhang jivita pariyantam saranam gacchami. Yecha buddha chita che yecha buddha nagata pachupanna che yecha buddha sabbada nati me saranang anyam buddho me saranang varam etene satya vajjene hotu me chaya mangalang uttamangene vandeham agarpamsu varuttamam. Kalito doso buddho kamatu tammamam. Namo sanditiko akaliko ehipassiko opanyayiko pachatam veditabbo vinyuhiti jivita pariyantam nangachami yecha dhamma tita che yecha dhamma nagata pachupanna che ye dhamma Yami sabbada natti me saranang anyam dhammo me saranang varam me tene sacca vajjene hotu me jaya mangalam Gene vande ham amam cheti vidam varam dhamme yo kalito doso dhammo kamatu tammamam Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Ujupatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Nyayapatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Chipatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Yadidam Chattari Purisa Yogini Yatta Purisa Puggala Esa Bhagavato Sango Ahuneyo Pahuneyo Dakineyo Anjali Kariniyo Anuttarang Punya Ketam Lokasa Hariyantam Saranang Gacchami Yecha Sangha Tita Che Yecha Sangha Nagata Pachupanna Che Sangha Aham Bandami Sabbada Saranang Anyam Sangho Me Saranang Varame Tene Satya Vajjene Hotu Me Jaya Mangalang Uttamangene Vandehang Om Sangho Yo Kalito Doso Sangho Kamamatu Tamamam Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So now, as a way of commentary, after the initial homage to the triple gem, etc., then in the Sri Lankan tradition, there's a string. And when the monks are doing the chanting, it is believed that the vibrations of the chanting and their merit will help follow along the string to all the devotees who are there and who have the string strung out to them and they hold on to it. So that's the Venerable Kemananda chanting at this time. Oh no, I stand corrected. That's their visiting master. Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. So presently they are chanting the Setting the Dharma Wheel in Motion Sutta. I was actually looking for it in my chanting book so I could follow along with them. But I heard them chanting the Four Noble Truths and the Noble Eightfold Path, so I knew that's which one they were chanting. This one gets rather long, and they skip part of it at the end because it just repeats the same phrases over and over. But this is one of the most chanted suttas in all of Theravada. Vidya udapadi aloko udapadi tamko panidad dukkha nirodha gammi tatipada arya satcham inni baik. Ganesu tesu dhamesu chakkum udapadi jnana udapadi panya udapadi aloko udapadi dhamesu chakkum udapadi jnana udapadi panya udapadi vijja udapadi aloko udapadi Vanchame bhikkhave imesu chattusu evam tipu vyavatsat nana dasanam sadvidus Yave sadeva kiloke samarake sambha Yasadeva manusaya nuttaran sambodhim abhisambodo panchanyasi Nimme su chaktusu ahiyasachesu evanti pavitam Ohosliya tatam bhikkhave sadeva ke loke samarake sabramake samsama Iya pajaya sadeva manusaya nuttaran sambodhi abhisambodo panchas Udapadi akupame cheto vimutti ayamanti majati idamavoka bhaji pato vasitam ayasmato pandanya savayavita Udapadi yam kinchi samudaya damam sabbatam niroda damanti Ramachakte Umadeva Sadha Manusave Sum Naranityam Prastipatipani Megadaye Antaran. So you see they chant very fast. And I'm trying to read it in Pali. But I just give that commentary now. I'll just let you listen. Okay, so I muted that from the main channel. I'm sure it's double broadcasting. I just really wanted to share this with you tonight. Let me stop this. Okay, so I really just wanted to share that with you tonight. After they do the chanting of this setting the Dharma wheel in motion, they will do a brief loving kindness meditation and just a brief silent sitting meditation followed by a closing protective chant for those who are there in attendance. So this will go on for about 20 more minutes. And when you're in person, it's a little overwhelming at first, but after 5 years of listening to it and following along in Pali and learning a lot of the Pali words, I've been going once a week for a long time. It's a good tool to teach you the Dhamma, and you learn what the Buddha taught in the oldest of the Dharma lessons, discussions, discourses that we have available to us in the modern era. So anyway, I hope that was instructive. I see him at 56 minutes, and I think my restream is maxed at 1 hour. So I'm going to end now. We've already read the Bodhicitta prayer, so I hope that was okay. I probably won't double stream again. I know I'll go back and listen to it, and I know it's going to be a lot of double sounding, delayed with me chanting along with them. So I apologize for that. But Wednesday night is normally my night to go to the temple before we came here. So I just wanted to share with you my experiences in practicing with a Theravada temple, and the love that I have for those monks that are there. The abbot is the Venerable Saranasiri, and then his second senior most person there is the Venerable Kemananda, who was my personal teacher for several years. So anyway, thank you for joining me tonight, and I hope you'll join me again tomorrow night. Good night.